Hi guys, it's Maria Park and welcome to Approach the Nerd. And this is our Owl House Season 2, Episode 9 spoiler review called Eclipse Lake. This episode was one of the best ones so far as I'm concerned, because lots happened. Firstly, we finally got to see Emperor Belos's face. And honestly, he looks just like Philip. I think it is Philip or a clone of Philip, because I don't know how old Philip actually is. I don't know how old he's supposed to be. I don't remember. But yeah, we got a full-on facial review. He looks very similar to Hunter. Hunter basically looks like basically a younger version of Emperor Belos. And what's interesting is he reveals to Hunter in this episode that he visited the human realm. Which he didn't say he's from the human realm, which is what actually is going on, but I digress. Something that I found interesting too, I'm starting to think that maybe Hunter is not actually, he wasn't born, he was cloned. A lot like the Luce we have in the human realm that's staying with the mother right now, because like the Emperor Belos has this book, and we've seen it throughout the season, like pieces of this book. It mentions things like Grimwalkers. It mentions like all these different things that it needs. Like, I think they said they need like a Succodomus scale to complete, whatever Emperor Belos is trying to accomplish. But there's a picture where it looks like he's growing children. Like it looks like there's growing, like basically cloning. There's like a section that looks like it's all basically cloning or growing a child from scratch. And then like I think the picture's child looked like it had red eyes. It's just really weird, but it would explain so much because Hunter has red eyes. So now I'm starting to think that instead of Hunter being a relative of Philip's, that he's just a clone. And another reason why I think that is Belos even forbade him from leaving the castle. He wanted to stay in the castle where it was safe because it would be a hassle to find a replacement. So yeah, that's very it's very interesting wording. Let's put it that way. So I think that maybe Hunter is a clone. My darkest theory is that Emperor Belos knows that his current body's time is coming to an end. You see his face is all warped up. Maybe he created Hunter as a replacement body. And then when the time comes for him to go back to the human realm or whatever, he's going to take over Hunter's body, because essentially that's why he made him. I don't know. That's just my theory. So just throwing it out there. This episode, Luce has contracted the common mold, which is very interesting. She's delirious. She thinks her arms are snakes. It's absolutely hilarious. So of course, she's gathered all the troops together, including Willow and Gus. We have them back this episode. I'm so excited. And, she's giving everybody jobs because she wants to prove that she is the best girlfriend ever. And like every time she says stuff like that, I feel so bad for her, because throughout this entire episode, she's trying to be helpful and prove to Luce that she's an amazing girlfriend, because her family basically messed her up. That's what it is. But it is what it is. I will say one of the highlights for me in this episode with Lumity is Amity not understanding the text that Luce is basically sending her. And so she's thinking, she doesn't know what to think at first. She's like, okay, cool. And, of course, Luce is like dejected because she doesn't understand the text. I kind of feel like they should have had a conversation on how to read these because these emojis that, Luce kept sending her were going basically right over her head. And later in the episode, and I'll get into that in a second, Hunter does use that to kind of throw Amity off a little bit. So basically, the Echo Mouse, while they're getting ready to take care of Luce, starts projecting, and it shows that they need Titan's blood to try and get to the human realm, the human portal running, or to make the key. Basically, all this stuff is connected to Titan's blood, and it said Eclipse Lake. So Luce sees that in her molded state, and so she instantly wants to go. Well, Eda and King are like, we'll go, you stay here, because you're sick. Stop, calm down. And then of course Luce, wanting to be Amity wanting to be the super girlfriend, she decides to go with them. And this is when they encounter Hunter, because Hunter is on a mission to prove that he has value because, after the events of hunting Palisman, he, not bringing any of the Palisman back except for the Red Robin that came to him, which we know is going to be his Palisman. He feels like a failure. He feels like he's being punished. Kikimora is giving more responsibility, so he's really in his feelings. And so he sneaks off to Eclipse Lake to go get the Titan's blood to make another portal key. And that's where Amity, Ida, and King run into him. And of course, Amity uses her abomination magic. I loved her abomination whip because of, she does the voice of Katara in Avatar. And so it was very reminiscent of when she used to do the water whip. So I thought that was really cool. Another cool thing about this, off subject or just off the side, Ida was trying to force herself to become a harpy. And I love that she was watching this video that made her scream a lot. And it was Dragon, it was like Dragon Claw, like as a spinoff or a parody of Dragon Ball Z. Absolutely. Dragon Claw Z was absolutely hilarious to me. Especially since I know I've done Walla for that show. So I was really amused by that. So I'm like, now we just need Yu Yu Hakusho in some way. Sailor Moon, Naruto, like some of the other big ones to be referenced in some capacity in the show. So, but that was hilarious. But yeah. Also, I thought it was really cool that Amity got her Palisman, especially since she wasn't there for Palisman Day at school, and she has a little white cat named Ghost. I think that's really cool. I would love to see how they got together because that's very interesting. But yeah, she's got her Palisman. And I was extremely excited about that. So anyway, they run across Hunter. Of course, Amity uses her abomination whip to basically hold him hostage or make him go with them. And then, of course, they have to deal with all of Kikimora's stuff. And so, they end up splitting up. Ida and King end up basically taking on Kikimora's guards. And Kikimora's guards are also extremely frustrated with Kikimora because they think she's basically losing her crap. Which is true. And basically Amity and Hunter ended up going further in to try and get to Eclipse Lake. Now he does warn them about the fool's blood initially, but unfortunately Ida didn't listen and stabbed one of them, and then a lot of crap happened. But what I thought was really interesting is that so Hunter is also like Amity, very down on himself and very, he has no one around to tell him that he's an amazing person. He was so in his feelings when, Ida described his voice as annoying. And he was like, why does everyone keep saying that? And you could tell he's like so down on himself. And so he really needs a win, and it makes him mean. And what I mean by that is when Amity receives these texts, Hunter looks at it and says, oh, that's not good. You know what that means? It means come back with results or else we're through. And like, Amity's like, but Luce wouldn't say something like that. But remember, Amity has, let's just say it, she has low self-esteem because of her parents, especially her mother, that, she starts believing it. And so she's even more hyped to get results for Luce. So Luce doesn't dump her. And, Hunter kind of played on that. And then he made it so she let him go, and then he tricked her and then took off on a little boat and went to Eclipse Lake, where he basically was trying to dig for the Titan's blood. But then he noticed the key around Amity's neck, because the key has Titan's blood in it, which, Amity didn't know. And Amity had initially took the portal key from Luce earlier in the episode because Luce, in her delirium, she's like, if I eat the key, will I become human or turn the human realm? So she was trying to eat the key. So Amity took the key and put it around her neck. And I don't know why she didn't just give it to Willow or Gus while she left. That would have made sense. But I guess they had to have it happen this way to progress the plot. So basically her and Hunter get into this battle, and he's holding his own a little bit because his Red Robin forms into his Palisman. But see, the problem is Amity has gotten very good at magic, and she has a Palisman, and she literally made an abomination like boxing glove and punched him. And right when he was going to grab it, the key from her hand, she literally made a blade at his neck. And I'm like, Amity is badass now. She was always badass to me, but she's very badass now. But Hunter, again, being manipulative as hell, he really is. Even though I like the character, he has a manipulative streak, and he's like, "That's fine." He said, "But if you don't give me the key, then Bellows is going to come after Luce," and he threatened Luce, and so Amity ended up giving him the portal key, which was very messed up. And then we do see, though, that not all hope is lost, because the portal key leaked onto Amity's hand, so she's got Titan blood on her glove. So not all hope is lost, but right now, yeah, Hunter got back the key, which was bad, because the Emperor did say that the human realm, or human portal, the portal back to the human realm, didn't want to work without the key. So that's a bad thing. But again, having the blood and being able to make another key, that's a thing. They do have the journal. I always wonder why Bellows Philip put his journal, or donated his journal, to the library in the first place. But I guess we needed him to do that so we can get more information on what's going on, because we wouldn't know about savage magic or any of this other stuff had he not put that journal in the library. But I just thought, if you really want to keep your enemies from knowing your secrets, why are you putting your diary, in the library? Just something I thought about. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen at this point, but it's interesting that the book mentions Grimwalkers, and and we have somebody masquerading as Luce in the human realm. We have pictures of you basically growing children, and we have Hunter, who I think now is a clone. I don't know, there's so much to this episode. Also, a funny scene for me is Willow, Hootie, and Gus trying to figure out which music to give to Luce that would be soothing, because in the basement, Ida has a bunch of old, stuff she got from the human realm before the portal was closed off, and so she had like wells, like well sounds, I believe it was, and then I think it was either R&B or hip hop, I don't know, that Gus was like into. And of course, I love when Willow's like, "Quiet, why don't we just combine both?" And so they are not good caretakers, because literally they had their headphones on and they were both grooving to the well sounds mixed with the music. And Luce is calling for them, because for some reason the Echo Mouse decided to let her know about the fool's blood, and so she was like, "I need to warn them," and she's like really sick, and so she's calling for them, and they're all just grooving downstairs. Even Hootie, nobody's paying attention. They didn't check on her at all. She never got this music. I thought that was funny. But yeah, and then something else, my Lumity heart, they were dropping the word girlfriend all over the place in this episode, like all over. I'm going to be the best girlfriend. And then of course, when they come back, Luce jumps her and she's like, "I'm glad my awesome girlfriend is okay." And I'm like, yeah, see, I'm loving it. I'm just hoping Disney does not backtrack, because again, that is something that happens when they focus too much on LGBT. But hopefully not, because Lumity is canon. So I'm excited that we're getting this, but I'm just hoping they let it play out all the way to the end of the series. And again, back to the whole Robin Palisman, Red Robin Palisman. Hunter is now able to understand the Palisman's language too. So there's that. So I like I said, I don't know what's going to happen, but Hunter, if Hunter really paid attention to his surroundings, he would see that his life is very much in danger with Emperor Bellows. And I don't know to the extent of Bellos's plan, but I really and truly believe that he even says the Titan has plans. I feel like Hunter is the sacrificial lamb. He has to be the one that Bellows either I think he has to inhabit him, give up his old body to be able to go home, because his new body, or his previous body, is too messed up from using savage magic. So maybe he has to have Hunter. Maybe Hunter's body is engineered specifically to survive in the human world, just like the Grimwalker. The Grimwalker Luce, which is what I think it is. I think that the reason we have that Luce is a test to see if Hunter himself can survive in that environment. I think they're pretty much the same, made the same way. That's what I believe. We don't know what color. No, I don't want to say that, because I don't remember if we ever showed Luce's eyes. If it turns out that Luce's eyes are red in the human realm, the one that's with the mother, then that's just proof that it's a clone. So, and I think those are what the Grimwalkers are. I'm not, don't quote me on that. I'm just throwing that theory out there. I don't know. I was thinking about that this morning. So you never know. But yeah, all in all, very, very good episode. I was very, very happy with it. Hi, Chastin. How are you? Um, like I said, the only other things I noticed was how Ida was trying to force the change of the harpy with the owl demon, and she actually all she had to do was just ask and make and like negotiate with it, which I thought was funny. And Albert is one hardworking palisman. I was so worried that that her palisman was gonna crack because like it was holding her body weight, King, and then Amity when Amity got thrown into the pit by Kikamura. Because the only reason Amity got caught by Kikamura is because Hunter betrayed her, because that's what he does. Unfortunately, he doesn't know how to play fair and nicely with people. But yeah, that the whole battle between Amity and Hunter was amazing, and Amity is extremely good. I mean, Amity's very good. So I would have loved to see her. I want her and Luce to battle, Emperor Bellows. I think that would be an interesting fight. I really do. And the Harpy is pretty badass too. So I am excited. I am very excited. In the next episode, I read the synopsis for, it looks like, Luce finds a way to go back home. But what she finds apparently is not what, what she sees pretty much shocks her. And I'm like, yeah, she sees herself, which is the clone. But yeah, so I'm really curious. And also, if she found a way back to the human realm, then that means Bellows found a way back to the human realm. So I'm really interested in this. This show has a lot of twists and turns, and I'm here for it. So there you go. All right, that was my quick review on episode 9 of The Owl House. If you have any theories, questions, please post them below. Also, what do you think Hunter is? Because I'm just convinced that Hunter is a clone of Philip. I don't know why. I just think that he's a clone. And I really feel like he's going to be the one that because it's just the verbiage. It's how Emperor Bellows said it would be hard. It'll be a lot of trouble to find a replacement. That doesn't make any sense. You basically are treating this kid like he messed up and has no value, but you don't want him to have to be replaced. You need him safe in the castle. So there's something up with that. So that's why I think he is absolutely a clone. But yeah, that is my opinion. I would love to know what you think. So again, leave a comment below and let me know. And if it is morning or day for you, have a good day. If it is afternoon or evening, have a good night. And I will see you in our next video and our next stream. Bye, guys.